English besties, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. I've never done one of these before and I'm really excited. Some people do them differently, but I'm going to do your traditional start a 24-hour timer and read as much as I possibly can throughout that time. I'm also going to try to stay up as much as I can. I have been struggling with COVID for the past week and that's why I sound a little nasally. I probably will wind up getting some kind of sleep tonight, but I'm going to continue the 24-hour timer through that. I'm very excited though. Let's get into the TBR first and then we can set our timer. So first up on my TBR is going to be Glow of the Everflame. This is the second book in the Kindred's Curse saga, and I have a full spoiler-filled complete review of Spark of the Everflame. I can link that down below for you guys so you can watch that. But in this, we're going to be sharing thoughts and feelings on Glow of the Everflame, obviously spoiler-free. I'm already 158 pages through this and 24%. So if I could even just finish that one in this amount of time, I'll be very happy with that. Again, like I said, I'm a slow reader. I think I've timed myself and I'm about 50 pages an hour. So we'll see how much I can get done. I'm very excited. Sometimes if it's a romance book, I can get through it a little faster than that. Second on our agenda, we have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I am 68 pages through this. I don't know what the total is for this. The total looks to be about 443 pages. So I'm not even a fourth of the way through this one. I think I might start with Deep End just because when it gets closer to like the night, like relaxing time, I'm gonna want to switch to my Kindle. So I'm gonna be reading the physical book of Deep End for right now. And then if somehow I finish both of these within this time, that would be amazing. Got some Pliables, I already ate that. And then I got a coffee from Wawa. So I'm all set. Okay, I have the timer set for 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. So I'm going to hit start in a second, and I don't think I'm going to be stopping this for anything. Like I said, if I sleep, then we're just going to see how much I can read throughout this time, but I am feeling much better. A little bit of context. We have our main character, Scarlett Vandermeer. She's a diver at, I think, Stanford University, and she's coming off of this injury, so she has a lot of mental blocks pertaining to that, as well as some physical issues. She starts to get close to her captain, Penelope, and she kind of like accidentally gets involved in Penelope and Lucas's like relationship issues accidentally. She just like has a wrong timing, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. She finds out Penelope and Lucas are having issues because Lucas has some kinks that Penelope is not into at all, and so they're thinking about breaking up because of those things. So Scarlett feels bad that she's like kind of like weirdly in the middle of this, so she tries to help Penelope by having a conversation over coffee about the kinks that Scarlett is into and how it's normal, and like if Penelope needs help working through that with Lucas, she can help her. But instead, Penelope and Lucas wind up breaking up, and in a drunken state, Penelope tells in front of both Lucas and Scarlett that they should sleep together because they have the same kinks, which is not necessarily true, but it's just really funny. So then Scarlett and Lucas keep having these weird interactions where like they both know that they're into that kind of stuff, but not the specifics of what each other are into, and they just kind of have these like quirky little weird meetups. And right now she's getting introduced to a lab where she's going to be working on some research, and he happens to be the other student doing research there as well. And I think it's really funny because it's under Dr. Olive Smith, which is our Olive from The Love Hypothesis, which I always love the little crossovers. And we also see Dr. Adam Carlson in this one too. So I love that we're seeing Adam and Olive again. I think it's adorable. And I just love this cover, like the color scheme just hits like the right part of my brain. And then I don't know if you guys can see, there's like the little water droplets. This definitely feels like an Ali Hazelwood, but I feel like her writing has elevated so much since The Love Hypothesis, even since Love Theoretically. Like I feel like this is written so well. It's definitely her style, you can feel it, but I feel like her writing just keeps getting better and better, so I can't wait to see what else she comes out with because I love her so much. I've made it to 2 hours in and I'm on page 116 of this book. 21 hours and 47 minutes left. downstairs for the night and put a nice ambiance on the TV, get cozied up with my little cowboy blanket down there, maybe grab a snack, put some more ice in my coffee, and continue to read. And I have the TV down there so I can put on some more ambiance than just the Alexa playing some thunderstorm noises right now. I don't know what kind of ambiance I'm gonna put on because I can't listen to anything while I read. I'm very much of a, I need like rain noises or music without words, because if there's music with words, somehow my brain says the music words instead of saying the words that are in the book, because I, like, in my head I read to myself, so I can't have other words or else those words are in my head with these words and it doesn't make any sense. So if that makes no sense to you, you are so lucky that you can read with any kind of noise on, because I would love to read while watching just like a really colloquial show. 18 hours and 30 minutes left to go. I made it to page 146 in Deep End. So far we're just getting Scarlett and Lucas. They're like aligning their kinks through this like form they filled out, which I think is like so fun, and like I really liked that she put that in there. There are also so many terms I've had to look up so far and I'm dying laughing, and my search history is like not great right now. Also, I thought a third act conflict type thing was going to be Penelope finding out that her and Lucas were like having this thing together that's just sexual, but Lucas went out and just told her, which I love because like the communication is amazing in this book so far, and I like that we really don't have anything that can be the third act conflict. Maybe they're gonna all go to like a competition and she's gonna realize she actually has feelings for Lucas, and then things are gonna get funky from there. I accidentally got sidetracked and we've been watching this new show called Resident Alien, and it's so funny. So we watched a few episodes of that and I ate some dinner, so now I'm gonna get back into some reading and I will update you guys in a little bit. Crackhead hours. It's now 1:30 in the morning and I am so delusionally tired. It's not even funny. I'm about to make myself coffee and grab a snack of probably grapes or something other, because I wanted to make a hot dog and my husband said he would be very mad if I made a hot dog. 220 pages of the way through Deep End. It is getting spicy. I am very mad at Lucas and I keep trying to think about what a Swedish accent would sound like and I can't figure it out for the life of me. I just keep thinking of the guy from Frozen who says yoo-hoo, big summer blowout, and that's not helping me envision him as a big broody, dark-haired, tall, sexy swimmer. Nevertheless, I do persist. I realized I am the world's slowest reader. That's okay, because every kind of reader is valid, especially on my channel. I don't judge anyone that reads fast or slow or reads one book a year or 200 million. Yeah, like I said, it's getting spicy. And they did have like 1.5 sex scenes, I guess, and I really like their chemistry, and I really like her writing has progressed so much, especially with Spice. I remember when I first read The Love Hypothesis, it was my first romance book ever, and I was cringing the whole time reading her sex scenes because they were so unbelievably bad. But these are so good. I can't wait for their kinks to come into play a little bit more. I want to see how she does them. I really like Scarlett. She's forgiving, but also not too forgiving and not like throwing herself at this man. She's just like holding her ground, keeping her distance, doing her own thing. And I'm just rooting for her with her diving as well. Like I literally could not care less about like swimming unless it comes to like the Olympics, which I really like seeing that. But right now I care about her diving. And I like that we're centered on her completely and that we don't care about Lucas and his swimming that much, because that's all that matters. And again, I love her relationship with Penelope. I feel like it's a really good friendship dynamic and like partner duo for diving. I did sleep. I fell asleep at like 3:30. I did make it to page 282 in Deep End. So I will be able to finish this today, probably in like 2 or so hours, because I think I'm going to be a little bit more focused now that I got a good night's sleep. I'm going to put on some ambiance after I eat my bagel. I do have about 6 hours and 16 minutes left. So I'm hoping to read this within like 2 hours, so then I can get 4 hours of Glow of the Everflame in, which I think I'll probably read it a little faster, just because I think it's like a faster paced romantasy, and it's on my Kindle, so I always read faster on my Kindle, just because I can get a little more comfy, and I don't know, just something about the Kindle makes reading so much faster. Not much has really happened in the story, I guess. I like that Scarlett is not afraid to show her true emotions to Lucas, and he's just like there for her. He is gonna be one of my like top book boyfriends, I think. And now normally Allie Hazelwood's book boyfriends are like all the same, very one note, whatever, but I think he's actually different. He's super like emotionally there for her, even though he does have the same like character archetype as a normal Allie Hazelwood main male character. He's big, tall, brooding, dark hair, all of the good things. But not only is he like sexy, but he's so emotional and emotionally there, and he just like cares for her so deeply, even though, you know, they just have like this, you know, sex arrangement because they both like the same things. She's starting to process a lot of her traumas more and feel like she can feel sad for herself over some of the losses that she's had. She's starting to feel like she can feel sorry for herself. She has a lot of traumas and a lot of things that are legit, but she doesn't allow herself to feel like they're legit. So she's just like breaking out of her perfectionist ways, and she's breaking out of some of the things that she thinks define who she is. Like she thinks that she thinks that diving defines who she is, but Lucas is trying to teach her that diving is just something she should love to do, and it's not something that should define who she is as a person. I don't know if we're gonna get anything super kinky. I think that like calling this like a kinky erotica is probably a little inaccurate, just because like the only thing that they have is that relationship of like he's in control, she does whatever he says. So like, yeah, it is a one facet of that, but I don't think it's even that spicy. Like, it is spicy for an Allie Hazelwood book, but it's not spicy for someone like me that reads like a lot of spicy books or a lot of romance books where there's a lot of spicy things involved. But nonetheless, I think it's good. I think it's gonna be a 5-star. I did like at some point last night, like been feeling that like I really love it, but like at some point last night I got that 5-star feeling where I was just like, I really love these characters. Like, I love them so much, and I only want what's best for them. Like, I find myself worrying about her, like, doing dives and her taking her MCAT and getting into medical school. Also, is it bad that I just want them to have sex in the pool, which they haven't done yet? But that's what this insinuates. So I'm waiting for it. I'm gonna go eat my bagel and watch probably the latest episode of Solo Leveling in English, because I can't watch anime with subtitles because I can't see that far. 2, I can't read that far. 3, I want to keep my reading to books, not television. Finally finished Deep End with 2 hours and 59 minutes left. Definitely a 5-star. I didn't like the conflict with Pen at the end. It got kind of annoying, and she got super unrealistic and bitchy at the end, which I didn't appreciate from someone that was such a good character the whole time. But I guess I didn't mind that was the kind of like third act conflict, because it was resolved pretty quickly. I also feel like overall I don't like the amount of time that Lucas and Scarlett spent like apart from each other. I think that's super weird to just like ghost each other for like 10 days at a time. It definitely was not over the top spicy. I thought it was a really good amount of spice to mix in with the plot and some of the conflicts that were happening, and I really liked the resolutions with Scarlett's like mind block. She wound up being successful in the end and like meeting a bunch of goals, while also focusing on like friendships and relationships more. I like that Lucas was choosing her no matter what. Like, there was not a doubt in his mind ever that he was choosing her, so I really liked that. He opened up a lot for her and showed his emotions and was always there for her when she needed him and never chose anybody above her, so I really liked that. Their relationship was very, very sweet, and I liked the epilogue. I thought that was so adorable and wrapped up the story perfectly. I'm very happy with this one. Again, 5 stars. I think this is my second 5-star read of the year. My first one was A Sword of Kaigen, so now this is my second one. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's as spicy as people were saying it was, nor do I think it entered like any type of kinky sex more than just like the power dynamics between them. So that was interesting because they talked a lot about like some different things, but nothing really happened too crazy. There weren't too many sex scenes, like I said. There was a lot of plot going on. So moving on to reading Glow of the Everflame for the next 3 hours, and then a 24-hour reading challenge will be successfully done. And I'm really enjoying this one. Like I said, when I started, I was on like some page over 100. I'm on 163. A lot of what's happening right now is super slow because we're kind of coming from like from last book to this book. We're in the middle of a transfer of power for the crown in Lumnos, and I don't want to say more than that because it'll be a spoiler for the ending of the last book and what this book is about. Basically, her relationship with Luther, they're getting closer. She's starting to trust him more. Her relationship with Henry is very strained, and she did learn that her mom is alive from Luther, and there's not much more I can really say because a lot of the stuff that's happening is super spoilery. She's kind of accepted a lot of things about her and about her future and about basically what's going to be happening for the rest of these books. She's just accepted, and I'm interested to see how this transfer of power works and what exactly happens. But again, it's very slow right now. We're in that like it's giving like second book syndrome just because of we're in like that really slow like middle ground. But I'm going to continue reading for the rest of the 3 hours that I have. I definitely wish I read more in this, but I did keep the timer. Like, I truly did like a 24-hour reading vlog where I kept the timer going when I was sleeping, and I kept the timer going when I was like watching a show yesterday. So I truly didn't read for 24 hours. I read for probably closer to like 8 to 12 hours, and like 12 would be like really pushing it. Has passed and I have successfully completed my first 24-hour reading vlog. That was so much fun. It was so stressful and I feel like my brain is melted from the amount of reading that I did. Again, I'm a slow reader, so it might not have been a lot to some people, but it was a lot for me. So a tiny recap, I got all the way through Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and then I read about another 100-ish pages from where I was in Glow of the Everflame. I made it to about chapter 22, which was page 252, and I did switch to the physical copy for a little bit. It's just so much fun to read from, and it's so pretty. Let me go over Deep End. This one obviously is about Scarlet and Lucas, and they kind of enter this weird like sexual kinky arrangement to be with each other sexually because their sexual interests align. And Scarlet kind of gets mixed up in Penelope and Lucas's breakup, so that's kind of how she ends up being involved with Lucas. Scarlet is also battling past trauma about like her abusive dad. She's battling past trauma about like how her last relationship ended. She's battling her perfectionism, as well as letting her academics as well as her diving define who she is. It is a book about like self-discovery through college, meeting the right person, falling in love, all of those good things. I really liked Lucas throughout this entire thing. He was always super clear and straight cut with Scarlet. He never really led her astray except for at one point, but she didn't really know him, and that issue got cleared up very quickly. Other than that, he was straight to the point, never led her astray, always was direct with her, very blunt on how he feels, and he was always there for her mentally, physically, everything. He was literally the person she was going to at the end, and I loved it. I liked Penelope except for towards the end. You guys know my beef with her. Closer to the end, I don't know what happened there, but not a very good character arc for her, I guess. There were some really heartfelt, very sweet moments between her and Lucas, which I really loved. The only thing that I would docket points for is like everyone's saying it's super spicy, and you know, when they're talking about like BDSM and their kinks and stuff, like not a lot of that happens. It's just more of like a power play, and I also don't think it was that spicy. So those are my only two things that I would say about it, but still a 5-star read for me. I'm so glad I got this done this weekend. More into Glow of the Everflame. Like I said, at the end of that, and at the end of the last book and into this book, there is a change of crown in Lumnos. I don't want to say anything about it really because this is the second book in a series, and I don't want to spoil anything if you guys haven't read the first book. Her relationship with Luther is changing. She thinks he's like this murderous being, but he's revealing some things to her that nobody really knows about him. There's a lot of like sneaky inside politics going on. Us as readers are learning about the crown more. We're learning about some of the roles. We're learning about how pretty shitty some of the Descended can be, and like how that just like royal basically ass kissing works. So we're learning that after the king's funeral, there's this period called the challenging, and whoever holds the crown, like whoever the crown transferred to, because it like power transfers to the next most powerful Descended in Lumnos, that power transfer, the challenging begins, and all of the other houses, there's 20 powerful houses of Lumnos, and any of those houses can challenge the crown, and they like the person who has the crown and that challenger do like a magical duel, and then if the crown wins, then you know, that house made an enemy of the crown and House Corboy. If they lose, obviously that new person that was the challenger could get the crown, or they could not get the crown, because the crown will just pass to the next most powerful Descended, which might not be them. This is what I read. So I read basically all of Deep End. It was like, I probably read like close to 400 pages. And then I read about like somewhere between 100 and 150 pages in Glow of the Everflame. So it's like about 500 to 600 pages, which is not bad for one, a slow reader, and two, I did keep the timer going when I was eating, when I was watching Resident Alien with my husband, when I was sleeping, so there were a lot of things going on. I hope you guys enjoyed my first ever 24-hour reading vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please leave a water droplet emoji for Deep End, and if you have read Deep End, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments. I would love to talk about it. I really did love that book, and I'm really happy it's one of my 5 stars for the year, and I'm really glad that Ali Hazelwood is still one of my auto-buy authors, because I haven't read from her in a while. I haven't read anything since Love Theoretically. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for future bookish content. Thank you for watching. Happy reading and love you. Bye.